Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. The speech that Fred gave today is an advanced speech out of the Humorously Speaking Manual. It's a speech entitled Keep Them Laughing, where you're supposed to have a prolific number of jokes. Specifically, the purpose of this project is for the speaker to present a 5 to 7 minute speech that begins with a self-depreciating joke, includes at least 2 sets of jokes in the speech body, with each set composed of several jokes, and ends with a humorous story. And it goes on and on along this line. And so I thought the first thing that I would say up here is to try to get a focus on what constitutes a joke. Did we expect Fred to come up and say, knock, knock? Says, who's there? Or how many Samoans does it take to paint a house? That wasn't, the answer is 5, by the way, and I'll explain that one. But that's not the kind of joke that we're talking about. We're talking about a joke is really a humorous anecdote that augments the speech to make a point in the speech. And Fred exercised the term joke and quotation very well in that regard. Everything he did was a humorous anecdote that helped him make his point through the speech. So then the question is, what constitutes a humorous speech? Well, first of all, it's not a string of one-liners that we're going to laugh at if it's not a coherent speech. We expect an opening, a body, and a conclusion, and we got all of that. So Fred certainly met the criteria for a speech, and a humorous speech, and if you were in the humorous speech contest, that would be extremely important. So did you get the initial laugh? And yes, you did. You first said, people ask you a question, what kind of doctor are you? And you said something to the effect, well, it depends on my attitude at the time. And we all cracked up because we all can relate to that. And then you poked fun at yourself a little bit throughout the speech, which is very effective, and that's what they mean by self-depreciating. And you kept coming back to the idea of you being a wonderful doctor, and where it fit in, where it didn't fit in, and why, and you tied it all together very effectively in that regard. You brought it back again and again, even in the end when you repeated it in Spanish. So I thought that was very effective. Take that basic theme, I'm a wonderful doctor, and weave it back in throughout your speech, and have some funny stories along the way that are related to it. And that's the way to do a humorous speech rather than the one-liners. Now, I can appreciate Fred being asked the question, well, I've got a sore throat, can you help me out? Because all the time is, how's the weather? How's it going to be at my wedding anniversary? I'm at Costco. Fred, I can totally relate to that. A couple of things that I think you need to work on just a little bit, and you have your moments when you don't have this problem, but today I think you did. A little bit of a soft voice. I think you need to have a little bit more energy than sometimes during your speech than you had. And the other thing is when people are laughing, let them laugh. Stop your speech. Don't go on to the next point until the laughter has subsided, because you're cheating yourself on more laughs. The humorous speech contest, as Arnie can tell you, that's very important. So Arnie had a speech several years ago that came in second in the district, and it was that kind of speech. He had to cut it back so he had time for people to laugh. So pause and let the laughs proceed. So overall, an excellent job with the speech. And the answer to the question is well, it takes 5 people, Samoans, to paint a house, 1 to hold the brush, and 4 to move the house in.